So, folks, I don't know if you know this, but YouTube has a lot of content creators, and there's a lot of people thinking about doing it, but think they can't get started because it is such a saturated market. What you may not know is my software career was taking on Goliath, and we could talk about flanking and all these other things. But you know what? We're going to bring Sean to the table from Think Media, and we're going to talk about how to get recognized in YouTube in the world of all of these creators. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm super fired up to talk about this. I've been reading a famous book called Positioning. I'm working with Patrick Bet-David from Valuetainment, and I had never read the book. And what's fascinating is I want to say it was written in 1980. The second edition, new and updated for a new era, came out in 2001.
Oh, wow.
And what's so wild about what the book says is it's almost prophetic in nature. It says, how do you stand out in an over-communicated society? How do you
Wow.
stand out when there's too much noise, there's too much marketing? And what's so funny is they were saying that in 1980. And then in the 2001 version, in this, there's side notes that they're adding commentary. They're like,
Sure.
yeah, we really got this one right. It's even worse now.
It's even worse.
And in 2001.com was starting, but there was no YouTube, there was no
Nope.
TikTok, there was no Instagram, Web 2.0, social media was not there. And so I think that what's powerful is this skill set of thinking about, man, how do I stand out in a crowded world is 100% relevant for every person listening to this, because how do I stand out against the other people competing for my wholesale business in the region? Why would they call me and not somebody else? How do I have market penetration? How can I be top of mind and tip of tongue when it comes to my industry, what I want to be known for? And then of course, here on YouTube, what makes my YouTube channel different? And so I've been thinking about that. And yeah, we could dive into it briefly. I then dove deep into the book and found that they wrote another book called Marketing Warfare that gives 4 strategies about how to decide the best approach to standing out. And that's, you're either going to take a defensive approach, an offensive approach, a flanking approach, or you're going to have guerrilla warfare. And this is very relevant for every business owner, real estate agent, real estate professional. And it might be kind of funny how it applies, but it's thinking about that. And it all starts with, you don't just pick your strategy based on what you think you should do best. You actually pick your strategy based on your positioning. And the simple definition of that is not how you wish you were seen, but how you're already seen. Positioning is what already exists in the minds of other people. And for example, it's, what do you think about when you think about Coca-Cola? What do you think about when you think about Pepsi? And which one, what is the mindset that they hold in viewers on YouTube? What do you think about when you think about Joe Rogan? And what are the other opportunities? And if you were to say in your own mind, you go, you know what, I am the next Joe Rogan. Well, you might be the only person that thinks that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's
you're a party of one.
Yeah. And so when you start thinking about, what do you think about when you think about EXP? What do you think about when you think about Keller Williams? What agents are you attracting? And so on a small level, understanding this positioning thinking then also gives you tools to say there is hope. And that's whether you're going to actually take a defensive approach, offensive, flanking, or guerrilla approach. We could break those down in a sec.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things, right? So we're just going to focus on the YouTube world. Right? I think there's a lot of folks that want to, or maybe I should say they're interested. Then they look at it and they talk themselves out of it because every niche is too full and this, that, the other. A lot of life, I've learned now being over 50, is self-talk, right? You didn't even take a shot, right? There's a lot of people that would be wonderful YouTube content creators, would do that people need to hear from, but they let their self-talk get in the way. And I just, I don't suffer from that, right? I'm okay. What, you got to record a video? Okay, right. Push play, stop, upload, move on to the next one, right? I guess I don't understand how people don't even get in the game, right? You're not even competing if you're not in the game. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Mindset is everything. And because if you don't have the right mindset, you will never start. You'll never even start posting videos. But I think this methodology could also give people hope because, for example, um, there's too much competition, and it would
Right.
say like somebody already is the leading voice on that thing. The strategy for the person who's the number one is actually defense. You just maintain it.
Correct.
Once you have it, you just maintain that position. What's if you're trying though to dislodge number one, that's also the wrong move. So you don't actually even go on offense against your biggest competitor. You either flank or you do guerrilla marketing, and that's where
Correct.
the opportunity was. You actually take a slice of the market. You niche way down. And this is kind of an old phrase, but I have new depth and understanding of it, is that the riches are in the niches. You just
Correct.
take you want to become,
One
rather than
little
trying to
piece. Yeah.
dislodge the king of the hill that has a market position, you actually want to become the king of something very small. So you could become the number one. And so could you be the number one real estate agent in America? Probably not. Could you be the number one real estate in New York? Probably not. Could you be the number one real estate on one block,
There you
of
go.
a market that's big enough? And if
Yeah.
you're in a dense city population or whatnot, of a particular borough. So then similarly on YouTube, then you hold the position, and you may only hold the position in the minds of a handful of people, but you only need 1,000 true fans to make this whole
Yeah.
thing work.
I think
And
that's key.
so I think it's that then becomes the ultimate secret of marketing warfare. It's there's the analogy they gave is there's a mountain. So there's a king on top of the mountain. If you're that king, it's defense, because now it's people are trying to come up. You can just defend from there. If you're also large and you're number two, what they actually suggest is attacking. What you do is you attack a certain area. You attack a weakness of,
Weakness. Yeah.
yeah, you attack like, you point out the flaw and you point out how you're different to try to take 5 or 10% market share. It's not that you're going to knock them out as king. It's that you can steal one of their weaknesses. But if you're small, you don't even want to do that. Like, you even mentioning the bigger person is only going to give them more press. It's not going to help you. If you flank, so then that's attack the king on the mountain. Flank would be a go around the mountain. Guerrilla marketing would be going under the mountain to potentially take a small segment of the market that the big king wouldn't even care about. It's small
Yes.
enough that you can actually just own it and dominate it. And what's interesting, it makes me think, where in a way think media has grown pretty large. I've been now asking myself the question of who does have, as far as YouTube educators, which is its own niche within a niche within a niche. But I started thinking, well, if you were going to compete against Think Media, your goal would probably not to attack us directly. Your goal would be to become the leading expert that helps YouTube creators of a particular kind, the leading expert on YouTube for real estate, for example. And there's actually a good book like YouTube for Real Estate. I forget who wrote it. It's an incredibly good book. It's got like over 100 reviews because it's super niche. And I can't say never, but I'm never going to actually niche that far down. We have
Sure.
built a big enough, we have that more wide appeal. We got to that level of scale, but you go into this vertical, like I help chiropractors grow their local practices by making simple YouTube videos and leveraging social media and then realizing that the depth and revenue and potential and impact of being very specific like that would be the game.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things there. What I would tell somebody thinking about doing it is do it. There's plenty of opportunity out there. I think your lesson about all you need is 1,000 fans. You don't need 1,000,000. And again, there's plenty of opportunity out there. Don't shy away from. Take your shot. If you have a hobby that you've been playing with for 10 years, turn that hobby into a small business. Go after it. Minimum, you'll change your top line versus bottom line. If you don't know what those are, talk to your CPA. And you help everybody do that. You have this amazing book, YouTube Secrets, 2nd edition. Where can people find you to get more in-depth discussion?
Yeah, check us out on Think Media on YouTube, and we can help you build that brand, start that YouTube channel, build your camera confidence, figure out how to make simple videos. The channel's Think Media on YouTube.
Awesome. Thank you so much.